Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome to Narcolepsy Pumpkin. If you haven't done already, why don't you click on subscribe and click on the bell? That way you'll get notifications of new videos when they come out. I'm going to take some time to go through some of the books that I think it's a good idea that you have at least read and ideally have on your bookshelf so you can get hold of them when you need. The first one of those is Object-Oriented Design Patterns. An excellent book, and it's more about understanding what the patterns are and what they're called. You've probably, if you've never read the book, you'll have probably done or thought you've invented some of the things that are in this book. Having that common language and taxonomy is actually really beneficial when you're talking to other developers. If you're working in anything other than an absolute greenfield environment, I would honestly recommend that you get a copy of this book, Working Effectively with Legacy Code. This book goes into some detail of how to get legacy code out of the hole you've got it into. As a counterpart to that, having a book on refactoring is absolutely valuable. This one, which is a book by Martin Fowler, is actually part of the Robert C. Martin series. So if you want to look up the other books on the Robert C. Martin series, absolutely advise that. Basically, that's his reading list, and most of mine will probably follow that to a greater or lesser degree. Another book from the Robert C. Martin series is The Software Craftsman, which is kind of where my Clean Craftsman blog name actually comes from. Of a great book, which really goes into some detail of things that are probably now considered agile, but when it was originally written, sort of the term agile hadn't actually been coined as yet. But that's The Pragmatic Programmer. Both the original and the 20th anniversary edition of that book are absolutely fantastic and a must for any developer. The concepts and ideas in these books are completely timeless. Uncle Bob's book, Robert C. Martin, the Clean Agile book, is absolutely fantastic because it takes Agile back to the beginning, back to the basics, what it was meant to be, which is solving the problem of small teams, solving small software problems. It doesn't advocate particularly any methodology. This is one of the older books in my library. This is a book I picked up God knows how long ago, about extreme programming. I didn't even know what it was when I bought the book. It's actually by Robert C. Martin. I didn't even know he was Uncle Bob at that point. It really is one of the early agile approaches, originally sort of developed by Kent Beck, who some of you may or may not know. Kent Beck's written quite a few books, maybe worth getting some of those. I have a couple, which I'll go to in a minute. But the Extreme Programming series and books are very good because Extreme Programming is one of the ones that has test-driven development at the core of its agile process. Test-driven development by example, which is a Kent Beck book. The examples may not be in a language that you work in, but hey, it's a really good book. It gives a fairly good foundation in test-driven development. In most cases, a lot of these books are actually available as audiobooks on Audible. I've listened to quite a few of them myself. Absolutely would advocate that you go and listen to these books as audiobooks. They're perfectly valid. Means you can listen to them while you're on a walk, you can listen to them while you're in the car doing your daily commute. It's a good way of getting some ideas into your brain. If you keep listening to the books, they will eventually go in. I would also recommend that you get a copy and read the Phoenix Project and the Unicorn Project. They're two books by Gene Kim that are novels. They're fictional works, but they go through the turmoil, the internal change of a company going through a DevOps reimagining of their entire development processes, their online offerings, so on. Gene Kim's the author behind the DevOps Handbook, which is also a good book. Again, also available on Audible. Okay, that's it. So that's a little overview of a small corner of my bookshelf. I will actually do another one of these to sort of go around the rest of my bookshelf. There's also a load of books I haven't read yet, so I can't recommend something I haven't read yet. I'm literally only recommending books that I've read and I've had some input on my life. There are a few audio books that I've never actually bought the physical books, so I'll do another one on those. So yeah, watch this space.